Welcome back to the Side Street Grill for this edition of the Eagles Sports Coaches Show. We'll start talking basketball a little bit with head coach Donnie Tyndall. Of course, if you're in the audience this afternoon, if you have a question, just raise your hand, and Andrew Getz will come and have you to say your name and ask the question. So feel free. That's why we're here at the Side Street Grill, is to interact with the Morehead State University fans. And, of course, Morehead State playing twice last week. Donnie Tyndall, two tough games, two kind of mirror images, kind of a subpar first half, good second half, but fell a little short.
Yeah, we did, Jay, and I thought that, in each game, the second half we defended better, made a couple adjustments at halftime, and took away some strengths of the opponent that were hurting us in the first half. But the biggest thing is turnovers and not driving the basketball to get to the foul line. We're just settling for too many jump shots right now. And even in the second half in both games, when it really came down to have to make a play, our team is a jump shooting team rather than a post feed, get a big man to the foul line team, or a dribble drive, make a play at the rim, get to the foul line team. And, part of that is predicated on personnel. And then part of that is the fact that we have some guys we think will eventually be able to do those things, and they're still kind of trying to find their way. So we just got to continue to work hard, stress those things each and every day in practice. And we have made progress over the last month, but we're certainly not where we want to be at this point.
Kind of a luxury last season, having Harper at the point at times when you need to slash and either give off to Kenneth or kick it out for a jump shot. And a lot of times it's some of the new people coming in may not feel comfortable in their role yet. They're learning the role.
Right.
And, it's a thing that time will hopefully take care of for the Eagles.
Well, no question about it. DeMonte Harper was a special player. He was the best guard in our conference, and he was the guy, if you remember, late in the clock at Austin Peay. We make the run to forced overtime, made play after play at Eastern Kentucky when we had to drive the ball and make the layup to force overtime. He was the guy that did that. And then Terrence Hill and Ty Profit kind of fed off of him. And now those two guys are being asked to do some of the same things that DeMonte did. And I think they're still adjusting to that role. I think Angelo Warner is a guy that eventually will be able to do some of what DeMonte did. And then, in regard to throwing the ball to the post, and Kenneth would draw a double team and kick it out or get fouled. And we're not at that point yet with Drew or Khalil or Milton where they're forcing the double team. And I think that they're a little reluctant still to make that play to try to get fouled. So it's just part of the maturation process, part of growing. With the schedule we've played, we'd like to have another win or two, no question about it. But I do think that our team has improved in some areas, and our mentality is right. They're still working hard. There's no ego problems or chemistry problems, which sometimes can happen when you don't win like you hope to. So from that standpoint, I'm encouraged.
You play a Illinois State team, a very good team, one of probably the better teams we've seen.
Yeah, no question about it, Jason. Illinois State will probably be a top 3 team in the Missouri Valley, which is a great basketball league. They played Illinois right to the wire. And I think if we play just half as well the first half as we did the second half, we win that game. And that would have been a quality win. And against South Dakota, we just dug a little bit too big of a hole, although we did dig ourselves out of it. But we just, again, late in the game, didn't make that one play to kind of get us over the hump. And you have to learn from those experiences. You have to watch the tape. You have to grow your team. And as a coach, those points of emphasis have to be driven home each and every day. And, earlier in the year, we were getting crushed on the glass. And about the last 4 or 5 games, we've out-rebounded our opponent, and that was a huge emphasis at that time. So now it'll be driving the ball, limiting turnovers, getting to the foul line, you just you have to continue to stress things that are important and maybe weaknesses of your team at the current time.
With this team replacing so much of the talent that you had, has it been a lot of teaching and like maybe the same stuff over and over till they get it in their heads?
Yeah, I have two daughters, as you know, and sometimes it's amazing how many times you have to tell them to put their dishes in the sink. Even though they understand and they know they should, you have to tell them 7, 8, or 9 times. Then eventually they'll do it. Well, it's really not any different with my team. You can tell them to drive the ball. You can tell them to block out. You can tell them to throw the ball to the post. And then finally, when things don't go their way and they learn the hard way, they say, okay, I'm going to do it. Well, that's kind of where we're at. I think our guys are finally saying, okay, Coach, we got you. We understand that the things we're doing are leaving us a little bit short of what we're trying to do, and slowly but surely they're turning the corner.
As we mentioned, Illinois State down 17, come back down 17 against South Dakota, and you come back to take the lead late. They hit a last-second shot, but two different styles, two different types of teams there.
Yeah, and we kind of said that on the front end. Illinois State is a long, athletic, physical team that can make shots but also drive the ball. They had 2 really good post players, and their length and athleticism we thought would bother us, and we actually out-rebounded them, but they shot the ball very, very well from three-point range. I think they were 12 for 22 from the game maybe. And then South Dakota, we knew was a big, strong, physical team that would shoot the ball well, not quite as athletic. I thought that maybe our press could wear them down a little bit, and they actually did a pretty good job in the first half, particularly against our press. I thought the second half we hurt them with our press a little bit, but 2 different teams. But, that's good because Illinois State reminds you of Murray State, Austin Peay, Tennessee Tech, and then South Dakota reminds you of maybe a SEMO, Eastern Illinois, Tennessee Martin. So some different style of basketball will help our team as we get into conference play, no question about it.
Well, as we talked about earlier, the new players coming in, whether they're freshmen or junior college players, you've seen glimpses of, I think, why you brought them here. Milton Chavis the other night, 14 points, 9 rebounds. Khalil Owens, 15 rebounds in a game. Holden had back-to-back 20 points performances. So you can see that the athletic ability is there. As you say, it's the way they practice, and to be consistent about it is what's going to lead them and what's going to lead us in the Ohio Valley Conference race.
Well, no question about it. I think, when you look at Angela Warner has had games where he's had 5, 6, 7 rebounds. Milton Chavis was close to a double-double. Khalil Owens gets 15 rebounds. As you mentioned, Marcel Holden can shoot the ball. The problem is we're not getting enough guys to do it on the same night. Had Marcel shot the ball like he did the 2 games prior against South Dakota, we would have easily won that game. If Angela Warner gets 6 rebounds against South Dakota like he did a game or 2 before that, we would have won that game. If Khalil Owens would have got 15 rebounds against Illinois State, we win that game. So it's there, but that's the frustrating part as a coach until we get 4 or 5 guys playing well on the same night. You're probably going to come up a little short. And, last year we always would have, you got DeMonte, Kenneth, Sam, Ty, and Terrence. Four of those 5 were going to play well every night, and you could count on that. Right now, we're hoping that a guy plays well rather than counting on a guy to play well. And again, that just comes with time.
We're at the Side Street Grill. Donnie Tyndall is our guest. We'll come back. We'll have more with Coach Tyndall after this break. You're in tune to the Eagles Sports Coaches Show. Segment 2. Welcome back to the Side Street Grill and this edition of the Eagles Sports Coaches Show. Donnie Tyndall has joined us. Talked about the 2 games last week. Of course, finals week, team having the whole week off. I like that idea to let them concentrate on their studies. Tell us a little bit how the schedule differs for you and your practice times and maybe doing a little more individual work with this bunch?
Yeah, Jason, every year we try to give them at least 2 days off during finals week, and we did that again. And we think it's very important, obviously, that they have some time to just focus in academically and finish off the semester the right way. And our guys are in pretty good shape academically for the most part. And so they're working hard in school, but this is also a week with no games that we will do some more individual instruction type stuff. We'll lift weights a couple times this week rather than just once. And we've got to start to grow our team. This is a 4 to 5 week period where it'll be nothing but basketball, and you can have longer practices, you can watch more tape, and there's no other outside worries or problems, if you will. And every year our team has really grown over this time, and I tell our guys it's like the NBA, nothing but basketball and games and travel and film, and so that's fun, and I think our guys will embrace that. And we don't have a bad practice team. I don't think we're a great practice team yet, but for the most part, guys come into practice ready to go and looking forward to it. And I think when that's the mentality and makeup of your team, you do have a chance to improve every day, and obviously that's our goal.
Now, if people around the Moorhead area hears a big groan about 4 o'clock on Friday, that means that the finals are over and the 20-hour rule is over. and they may be groaning a little bit down in the AAC. But that, as you explain, as many newcomers that we have trying to mix in with the veteran players, that's what you need. You need time to teach. You need time to practice, whether it's 1, 2, 3 times a day.
Well, you do, and I think Coach Hodges and I have a great working relationship, but we may have to square off and fight a little bit for who gets the gym the longest over this break. We probably each want it for about 15 hours a day, but you're right, Jay. This is a time where you can spend extra time and do some extra things, and you can get some guys that haven't played as much more reps in practice because you don't have an opponent to prepare for this week. So all those things are very important, and I'm looking forward to it. This is my favorite time of year as a coach because there are no limits as to the hours and the time and restraints that you have, so it's all basketball.
Next game coming up on Monday, Binghamton up in New York, a team that struggled a little bit this year, but as we know, and you're a veteran of this, anytime you go on the road, anything can happen.
Well, no question about it. Binghamton played us to a 3 or 4 point game last year, if you remember, on our home floor. So we have a great deal of respect for them. Like a lot of teams at our level, they've played a very, very challenging non-conference schedule. So their record isn't great, but hey, on the road, if we can go get a 1-point win and get out of there with a W, we would take it, trust me.
And, of course, the Eagles come back home on December 23rd against Ball State, a very solid MAC team before the big showdown on the 31st against Austin Peay, a nationally televised game. And, of course, we'd like the people to remember the 23rd against Ball State. Need a big crowd. Students are gone. We need the community to come out. And also the 31st against Austin Peay. Number one, they're a big rival. Number two, we need their support and maybe getting us over the top.
Well, no question about it. Those 2 games at home are very, very important. Ball State has already beat Butler, so that gives you an idea how good Ball State is. And Austin Peay is picked to win our league. Now, I know they've gotten off to a slow start, but they just beat Tennessee at Tennessee a few nights ago, and they're picked to win our conference. It'll be our first conference home game, and so we do. I know how busy Christmas schedules are and different things, but as I mentioned early this season, we probably need the fan support this year with this young team more than ever before. And although we aren't off to the start we necessarily would have wanted or hoped for, we need our fans to come out and support these young guys and rally behind them, because every fan that's there helps us run a little faster, jump a little higher. So come on out and support us over the holidays.
23rd, Ball State, 31st, Austin Peay. What preseason that Murray State has had.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's great for our league. Steve Prohm has stepped in as a first-year coach and done a fantastic job. They're 10-0 and beat Memphis at Memphis a night or two ago. and the poll this week, they're 24th in America. So, I think that gives everybody an idea of how good our league is when they were picked preseason third in our conference, and here they are, a top 25 team. So the OVC is going to be very, very good this season.
Came out last Friday. I know you're very proud of this young man. Kenneth Freed finally signed his NBA rookie contract after the lockout. After a lot of talk, he went straight to work, got the contract signed, and for Morehead State's first ever first-round pick, he's in the fold, and he's already tweeted a couple of times that it's K-time in Denver.
That's awesome. Obviously Kenneth, I know, was, could not wait for the lockout to end and for everything to get started, and he's worked extremely hard for this opportunity. We're so proud of him, and now when he comes back to Morehead in the summer, he's going to buy me lunch.
I don't know. He may have those alligator arms.
Yeah.
But, you take a look at this young man, and, the story's been told a lot. The fact that you were one of the first to go up, take a chance on him, offer him a scholarship no matter what would happen with his test scores. But he also made the most of his opportunity. The fact he came down here and worked hard and got better and got better.
Yeah, well, there's no question about it, and that's what I tell our young players all the time. When you look at DeMonte and Kenneth, we coach our guys very hard, and that's part of getting the toughness needed to go on the road and win, or to have an opportunity to play for championships or win championships. You don't beat Louisville, and you don't do what we've done the last few seasons by being soft. You're going to have to be physical and tough. But when you put those demands on kids, some of them are receptive, some of them stay the course, and when they do, they graduate and they become really good players.
That's another thing I think you're very proud of that we don't get to talk about a lot of time, that Kenneth graduated, Sam graduated, Harper graduated. It's has come a kind of like a tradition that if you're going to play here, you're also going to graduate from here.
Well, no question. That's really the only promise, Jay, that I tell a recruit when I go in their home is we will do everything in our power to ensure you, or if we're talking to the parent, your son, he will graduate from MSU. And in my 5 years, we're 10 for 11. Only one guy hasn't completed his degree. I'm even going back and helping some former players that played here before I was the coach to come back and get their degrees. So it's the most important thing so that a young man can go out and do what he wants with the rest of his life, because even for Kenneth Freed, I hope he plays 15 years in the NBA. But he could be done in 3, he could be done in 8, he might be done in 2, who knows? So the biggest thing is when Kenneth is done playing, and again, I hope it's 15 years from now, he can go out and get the job of his choice, provide for his family, and do something he enjoys doing. So that's always the number one goal.
And I think it means a little more to you being an MSU grad. You went through the wars here. You graduated. You started your coaching career. You moved up. Now, one of the most successful coaches in the Ohio Valley Conference. Means a little bit more when you're from here and been through all this.
Well, it does. There's no question. And just like every guy on my team, when I was at Morehead State, everything wasn't perfect. I went through some tough times and some adversity. But fortunately for me, I had a great support system around me and my parents who pushed me to continue and strive to get my degree, which I did. Many of my current friends and faculty and staff here at MSU were part of helping me as well. And because I was able to earn that degree from MSU, I was able to get my coaching career started and do something that I love. And here I am, 41 now, and nothing's changed. I have a great deal of pride of being an MSU graduate. I love my job and the opportunity that I have each and every day. And that's what I want from my players when they leave MSU, to be able to go out and enjoy their life and pick a profession that they'll enjoy.
Donnie, this is our last show until after the holidays. Wish you a great holiday season. Don't practice them too hard. We'll see you on the road. Once again, December 23rd, Ball State here at Johnson Arena. Also the 31st as Austin Peay comes to town.
All right, Jason. Happy holidays to you as well.
Donnie Tyndall, men's basketball coach at Morehead State University. We'll come back with more. This is the Eagles Sports Coaches Show. Back to the Eagles Sports Coaches Show here on the Eagle Sports Network on a Tuesday, our last show before the holidays. I saw Suzette around. Is she back there?
She
of course,
is.
this is our last show of this semester. They had a little get-together for Suzette, who's retiring, Suzette Redwine, who's retiring from Morehead State after 3 years, right? 3 years? 3 years, because, she's still 22, 23 years old. So, but we want to thank Suzette because she was a big part of helping us get the Side Street Grill. So
Absolutely.
we wish her well. And,
not till the 31st of December. She's
yeah,
got a
that's
few
true.
activities.
Well, we wish her well now, but
Yeah.
we wish her well in her future endeavors. Sound like Vincent McMahon there.
Future endeavors is
yeah.
good.
So,
It's called sleeping in and relaxing a while.
I don't know. She still had to put up with Bill, so that's probably a big job right there. But we appreciate all her help getting us on here. And, of course, Darian Westerfield has joined us, the Assistant Athletic Director of External Affairs. And you've been a busy man. We caught you once on the radio and had a little interview with you. But tell us a little bit about exactly you've hit the ground running since you've been here.
I have got the opportunity to join the staff during the homecoming week, and it's nothing like starting a job during homecoming. But we've been able to smoothly transition into the basketball program and dive right into the non-conference season and getting ready for OVC play to start on the 31st.
Tell us a little bit about exactly. Well, I know what you do, but tell the people who may be listening or watching that may not understand what an assistant director of athletics for external affairs do.
I call it begging, borrowing, and stealing is my way to say it. But essentially, I'm responsible for generating revenue for our program, whether that be through corporate sales, whether that be through the Eagle Sports Network, or whenever you see something on the court or a sign in the AAC. It's basically a way to generate revenue, generate interest. It's marketing, it's fundraising, it's a nonstop thing to try to promote our program to not only our alumni base, but our student population and the Rowan County community.
I know the fact that the sweet part of this season for you and your staff and everyone involved in athletics, the new video boards at Johnson Arena.
It's a great toy. It's been fun to be able to dive into it and play with it. We've slowly gotten more pieces of it. Again, electronically, we've been able to try to link video and sound. We're also going to be streaming a lot more of our games through the OVC Sports Network. So it's been an exciting piece of us and some things that we're being able to use for stats, live video updates. It's kind of interesting. Our fans have kind of gotten used to the idea of a fan cam, but they've never had a fan cam at Johnson Arena before. So it's been a very nice piece to us to be able to utilize, and it's definitely enhanced our game day atmosphere as we learn to use it and not break it. But it's been a nice piece for us and something that will be used for the future.
Just keep Getz away from it, and it may stay in one piece.
Well, he's definitely going to have his hands on it a little bit.
And I notice on Tweagle the fact that now online are the intros.
Yes.
The athletic department went all out. Nice intro for the women's basketball team. Nice intro for the men's. You can see them online now. We want them to come and see it on the big video board.
There's nothing like that pre-game introduction video to highlight our program. I tell you what, the girls and the guys did a great job of coming out and being a part of that shoot. Everybody was kind of wondering what was going on whenever you have a Hollywood-style production going on with the lighting and the reflection that they used to create that video. And the final product has been outstanding. Jason Epperson from Epic Video, he does a lot of work for Morehead State, did an outstanding job for us, and we're very pleased with the product.
And I know there are a lot of marketing ideas that's going through your head this time. If anyone wanted to get involved with helping the MSU Athletics, either a game sponsor or sponsoring signs or maybe the video boards when they come into play, how do they get a hold of you?
The best way is just either email me with on my on-campus is 783-9052.
And I know for the Austin P game on the 31st.
Yeah.
Going to be a special day. We want a large crowd to come out. It's a nationally televised game, but we also want the community to come out because it's going to be a special day for Morehead State and the community to share.
I'm a very big fan of partnering with community nonprofit organizations. On December 31st, we tip off at noon against Austin P. It will be on ESPNU, and we've been able to connect with the STAR organization, which is Saving the Animals of Round County. It's a great organization that goes in. They promote care of pets and animals, and we're going to have a mini dog show at the proceeds of that game will go to benefit STAR and their organization. So we're going to find some puppies for people to adopt, and it'll be a really nice treat for our community.
Yeah, you can come on out to Johnson Arena. May want to come out a little earlier. Now, the ideal that they're going to have pins, and they're going to bring some puppies.
Absolutely.
And you can be able to look and find a puppy for yourself. Maybe you didn't get one at Christmas.
That's right.
You could come out the 31st, find you a nice pet for you and your family, and
start a new year with a pet.
Yep, and it's a great organization. Sue Kressif, who's a band director here at Morehead State University, very big in that. And I know that the fact that we want everyone, so if you're hearing this on radio, if you're seeing this on the video, tell some people.
Yeah.
Tell some people, get the word out. And of course, if they come, folks who supporters, can buy some tickets.
That is correct.
Because
also,
some of the profits goes back to them.
The concept for us is much like whenever you have a group that goes to a restaurant, portion of the proceeds will go back to that organization. We are going to do the same thing with STAR. We'll probably be partnering with other nonprofit organizations around the Round County community. But, for example, if the STAR organization can sell a ticket and get a benefit of that, we will have animal lovers that may not be basketball fans, but they want to see STAR and continue to support being aware of animal cruelty in our area and promote care and adoption of those pets.
And, of course, it's going to be the home opener, Ohio Valley Conference style for the men and women. The men will play at first at noon. The women will play about 2:45. That's against Austin P on December 31st. Also, if that's not enough, the concession stand will be having dollar items. We're not going to tell them what the dollar items are going to be because they're going to have to come out.
Well, exactly. I mean, the concession stand's working with us for that evening. We don't want to feed the pets popcorn, but
that's true.
It's going to be $1 soda, $1 popcorn, and the concession stand is going to make it very worthwhile and a very nice time for a family to come out and enjoy. We're trying to do that more often and find things that are more family-oriented for our basketball fans. And, again, you don't have to be a basketball fan, just an animal lover for the day.
So, once again, we'll be talking to Tom Hodges a little bit here in a couple of minutes. The home game against Robert Morris, Sunday at noon. 23rd home game, Ball State. That's a men's-only game. And then the doubleheader on December 31st. Come on out. Before you go celebrate New Year's Eve, you can come out and celebrate in a safe way, see a great doubleheader of basketball, help the STAR organization, and get some discounts on concessions. That sounds like a pretty good Saturday.
It's a pretty good way to start off.
That'd be a great cheap date.
That's right. Cheap date. It's great. It's fantastic.
So Darian, once again, tell them how to get in contact with you if you have anybody out there that'd like to help MSU athletics out.
Absolutely. The phone number is 782-9052. 783-9052. Excuse me.
Darian, always a pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
Darian Westerfield. He is Assistant Director of Athletics for External Affairs. We'll come back. We'll have Tom Hodges after this break. You're in tune with the Eagles Sports Coaches Show. Welcome back to the Eagles Sports Coaches Show. Tom Hodges has joined us now. You get heckled from the crowd.
We've arrived, Jason, when we've got hecklers.
Yes.
Tuesday in the University Center. So we're making some progress.
So I'll leave that alone because the hecklers are higher up than I am, so they can heckle you.
Definitely above our pay grade.
Yes, right. A couple of grades above us.
And one has already retired.
Yeah,
so
we're retirees.
She's at martial law right now, so it's really a tedious situation we're dealing with.
finals week here at Morehead State University and having some time to practice your team. I guess as we talked to Donnie, it's a little challenging because of all the different finals schedule that are not, the constant or the same routine that your young women do all the week.
Sure. Finals week presents challenges, and the first challenge are finals.
Yeah.
Everybody who's a student faces tremendous pressure in finals week to perform and get out of this semester with the grades that they desire. So that's the first challenge, in making sure our young ladies have sufficient time to study and prepare and perform in their final exams, and then couple that with maintaining conditioning and practice and preparing for our next contest. Always provides a challenge. So we gave them off Monday and Tuesday. We'll get back together tomorrow morning at a normal practice time and make sure that they still have enough time to perform and study for their finals.
You're on the road this past weekend going to Pittsburgh, taking on Duquesne. Probably a lot of books on that bus as they prepare for finals.
Absolutely. Loaded down for the 5-hour trip up to Pittsburgh. It was a real quick trip. We practiced here on Saturday morning, left out about 1 o'clock, got to Pittsburgh that evening about 6:30. Ate a real nice dinner down by the stadium at Jerome Bettis's Grill, and then had a 2 o'clock game the next day. So it was a real quick turnaround. So it provided them about five hours each way to get some good study time on the bus.
Duquesne, a very solid program, and as you mentioned, a very tough program. 7-1 entering the game, and they started out very hot against us on Sunday afternoon.
Coach McConnell Serio is basketball Hall of Famer as a player. She's fast-headed there as a coach. Has built that program into what I feel like is a top 25 program. They beat Ohio State at Ohio State last year. You can just tell they're a top 25 team. Again, what has been our Achilles heel, we got off to a little bit of a slow start, 15-0 before we could even get our sneakers squeaking there. So once we settled in for the last 30 minutes of the game, we played them to about a 5-point ball game. We just got behind so big that we spent a lot of energy playing catch-up the whole day. But hats off to Duquesne. They were very well coached, very well prepared. I look for them to do big things on the national stage this year. You
mentioned Coach Serio, the fact that she's the all-time assists leader when she left Penn State in the NCAA. Rookie of the Year in the WNBA, went on to make a couple All-Star teams and ended up coaching in the NBA with the Minnesota Lynx and a Coach of the Year. So a great pedigree. Being from Pittsburgh, she comes back to kind of coach a hometown school in Duquesne and building that program pretty solid.
Well, you take, for instance, and I see two of my point guards walking away, Almisha Jones and Therese Robinson walking away from these inspirational words that I'm giving out here, Jason.
Well, they may be just eating.
It was so inspirational they got their food and left.
Well, Linda's still here.
Right. Linda Dixon is still here, everybody. Our leading scorer right now, Linda Dixon. But that's right. But to my point guards, Coach McConnell, her senior year at Penn State, averaged 12 assists per game. Averaged 12 assists per game. Is the all-time leader in assists in NCAA history, and you can see that through her teams. When you turn on the film of her Duquesne team, they share the ball unbelievably well. And one of the big positives we had coming out of that game, they averaged 10 turnovers going into the game, and I think we turned them over 21 times. So we're going to be fueled by turnover margin, and that was a big positive for us coming out of the game, is that our defensive pressure was able to force a very secure ball handling team like Duquesne into 21 turnovers.
course, last Tuesday night we left the show here, went up to Cincinnati, and a great effort by your young ladies against a very solid Atlantic 10 team in Xavier.
Yeah.
And we didn't have to fight in Xavier either.
No. Thank goodness. My word, what a mess. In the Cintas Center on Saturday, we just happened to be watching that game when the melee broke out. And I feel for those two coaches because that is a tough spot. But we did play it at Xavier last Tuesday. Played a very solid game. Got off to a really nice start. Allie Turner and Linda both got us off to a real quick start up there. Game that we were leading in or only down one possession for basically 39 minutes and 30 seconds. So that game gives us a great amount of confidence that we do have a good basketball team. Our record right now might not be indicative of that, but not one part of me has wavered in how good our young ladies can be and really how good they are. We've just got to continue to build and put it all together.
Well, I like the fact that you and your coaching staff staying very positive because as you talked about, you could get down with a record like we've struggled with, but if you stay positive, then it'll relay to the players, and for the most part, they've stayed positive in these games.
Right.
Because the effort's been there.
The effort has absolutely been there, and as long as they're giving us that effort, then it's our jobs as coaches to get them in the right spots. I've never once questioned how hard we played, and that was the one thing that coming out of the two games last week, both coaches, their comments to me after the game was, look, your bunch plays harder than anybody we've played this year. Now what we've got to do is play hard in the right direction, and if we do that, by the time March rolls around, this team's going to be in great shape to put itself in line for a conference championship.
Top to bottom, and let's see, I've done women's games since 1996 off and on, so I've been around the program. Top to bottom, this is probably by far the best schedule that the women's program has played. You've got, like we said, SEC teams, Conference USA teams, strong Atlantic 10 team, so sure. I mean, it's right there, and you make a tough schedule for two reasons. Number one, and you think you can win. Number two, that it'll help you once conference season comes. Absolutely.
We designed the schedule to challenge our young ladies. Now, we certainly felt like we'd be better than our record is right now, but we designed it to challenge us every night. Outside of maybe one game, there's not been one game that we felt like we could not win. There's going into every contest, we feel like we have a great opportunity. While it is a great challenge, it's a great opportunity to compete and represent Morehead State the very best that we can do it, represent it through our effort and through our character, and I feel like we've done that. Now we just got to start representing it on the scoreboard, Jason.
That's true. But tell us a little bit about Robert Morris. They come to town Sunday at noon. Come on out. It's an early start at noon, but we want a nice crowd out on Sunday afternoon at Johnson Arena.
That's right. For all you soon-to-be graduates out there, come on out Sunday afternoon at 12 noon. We would love to have you play a very tough Robert Morris team. Northeast Conference champions multiple times, team that's laden with foreign kids. They really stock their roster with foreign transfers and foreign recruits, so we'll have our work cut out for us. They've got I think they're 5-2, 6-2 right now. They score the ball very well. They're pretty big across the board, 6', 6'1", across the line, so love that we're playing at home in Johnson Arena. Love that we have a chance in a week to stay in the classroom, finish up well in finals, and get ready for a tough Robert Morris team on Sunday.
And of course, after Robert Morris, you go to Johnson City, Tennessee on Tuesday to take on East Tennessee State.
ETSU much similar to us, very similar to us in that they've played maybe a tougher schedule than we've played, and they haven't gotten the results that they wanted. But you compare our stats, it's eerily similar what our two teams look like right now. So these two games were designed, and it shakes out exactly how we wanted. These are two OVC games. These are teams that look exactly like and will play exactly like teams from the Ohio Valley Conference. So it provides us a great opportunity to start getting conference ready going into the break, and then ready for SEMO coming out of it.
And, of course, as we said, like you just said, the OVC schedule just around the corner.
Right, coming right out of the break, longest trip of the year over to Southeast Missouri, and then coming back for a New Year's Eve tilt against Austin Peay. That will be exciting for all the New Year's resolutions. I've got a couple myself already planned out, and hopefully they'll come true sooner rather than later, starting that day. But we've just got a great opportunity. It's been a great schedule. I'm really enjoying this basketball team. They're keeping their heads up, and they're coming to practice and play every day.
And it's a great part of the fact that you've brought some new people in. They're now getting adjusted, and you can see it on the court. They may not, like Donnie Tyndall said, put it all together.
You can?
I
can see it?
I can
all
see
right.
it.
Well, that makes me feel better, Jason. Good.
The fact that they may have not put it together in the same game yet.
Right.
So,
right.
But you can see the process of each player getting a little more confidence, a little more used to your system, and as long as they play hard, only good things can happen.
That's it, and it's one of those things where it sounds great in July when we're recruiting these young ladies. It sounds great to say, well, they're going to make some mistakes, and we've got to live through their mistakes. Well, now it's November and December, and we've got to be true to our word and be comfortable being uncomfortable. That's one of these things that these kids have had to learn to do is, it's okay to be a little bit uncomfortable. And it's okay to make a mistake as long as you play very hard to atone for that mistake.
And it's also the time for your seniors to step up and help the younger kids out, and also to tell them it's a long, long season.
That's right. We're just a third the way done. We're a third the way done with our season. We've still got 2/3 left. Lynn Dixon playing maybe the best basketball of her career. Look for her to get even better. Courtney and Ashar both have better basketball in them than they played. They know that. We know that. All we've got to do is get it out. And once we do that, with the continued maturation of our young kids, like I said, this team's going to be just fine once we get more and more practice and more game experience under our belt.
Once again, Robert Morris, 12 noon at Sunday at Johnson Arena. The Eagles on the road Tuesday at Johnson City, Tennessee. At SEMO the next Wednesday before December 31st. I'm thinking warm weather already.
Don't put us in the grave yet, Jason.
December 31st, Austin Peay comes to town. It'll be a 12 noon start for the men, and, of course, 2:45 for the women. Tom, have a great holiday.
Jason, thank you very much. Happy holidays to all our students. Do great on your final exams, and we'll be there for commencement when all of you graduate.
All right, that's going to do it here. I'd like to thank Ian Corbin, our producer, back on the radio side, Jeremy Strickland, who runs the camera here, Andrew Getz, Matt Siegel, Matt Shabert, Libby Knight, also Eddie back there.
Job, Eddie.
The sound man, who's a sound man extraordinaire, and we'd like to thank everyone
Eddie does a fantastic job with the sound.
He keeps you
it's
going.
It's amazing, the sound system that he.
But that's going to do it for this part. We'll see you in a couple of weeks here from the Side Street Grill for the Eagle Sports Coaches Show. So long, everybody.